Om Sadashivasamārambhāṃ
शिवसमारम्भाम्
Shankaracharya-madhyamāṃ
शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम्
Asmadacharya-paryantāṃ
अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम्
Vande
वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्
Yada-vidya-vilasena Bhuta-bhautika-srištayah Tannaumi Paramatmanam Satchidananda-vigraham. So we were looking at two types of Pratyaksha again. One is Jiva Sakshi, another is Ishvara Sakshi. Now this Sakshi itself we have to understand correctly. Why do we even talk about a Sakshi? Sakshi in English can be translated as witness. So we can say witness consciousness. So why does the author here talk about Sakshi? So any knowledge which takes place, so there are two aspects to all knowledge. One is knowing that this is a part, which the Nayayika calls as Vyavasaya. Then the knowledge that I know this part, because if I don't know that I know something, then there is no possibility of any memory or even any meaningful vyavahara, correct? So there is a knowledge this is part, and there is also knowledge I know this part. The Nayayika calls I know this part cognition as anuvyavasaya. Anu means that which follows, you can take a meaning. So vyavasaya happens first, then the anuvyavasaya happens. Okay, that is their explanation, which we do not accept, because if for a particular cognition to be known, another cognition if it is required, then what about that cognition? To know that I will require another cognition, like that it will become an infinite regress. Also another objection to that is the vyavasaya happens first, and then after a kshana, after a very little bit of time, the anuvyavasaya takes place according to them, which again is illogical, because for I know this part knowledge, this is part knowledge is the Vishaya, correct? Now this is part, that knowledge is anyway gone already. When the I know this part knowledge takes place, this is part Vishaya is not even available, because the Anuvyavasaya is taking place after the Vyavasaya, correct? The cognition, the main cognition and the knowledge of that cognition, I know that, they do not take place at the same time. So one cannot be the Vishaya of the other, because the other is already over. So this is also another objection to that particular theory. So we do not accept Vyavasaya and Anuvyavasaya taking place one after the other serially. Okay, so that is a important thing. So then what do we say, Vedantins? We say that both these things take place at the same time. Okay, there is no temporal gap between this is part and I know this part. Both these knowledges, both these cognitions take place at the same time, because for a Sakshi, the witness consciousness is always there. It never goes away. So how can we say that? Again, for us, the Veda is the pramanam for all these things also. So in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, there is a very famous Brahmana in the 4th chapter, where this analysis is done of dream, and deep sleep. So when the Upanishad is talking about the deep sleep, it says yadvai tanna pashyati pashyan vai tanna pashyati nahi drashtur drishtehe viparilopaha vidyate avinashitvat. So this is a very popular quote from Bredarnika. So in the deep sleep we don't know anything, correct? So that is what initially it says yadvai tan na pashyati. So in deep sleep we don't know anything, there is no perception of anything, correct? But then the Upanishad goes on to say even in deep sleep where we don't perceive another thing as a Vishaya, so there is no Pratyaksha or any other manovritti itself is not there, so there is no chance of having any cognition there. But still, what does the Upanishad say? It says Pashyan vai tanna pashyati. So even then the Sakshi is there, the witness consciousness is always there. That is why we can even recollect getting up saying that I slept very well, I did not know anything. That I knew I did not know anything is because of the Sakshi. So for that the Upanishad further says beautifully, Drashtuhu drishtehe viparilopaha na vidyate, nahi drashtur drishter viparilopo vidyate, na vidyate viparilopaha. That means there is no end or cessation to the seeing of the seer. The seeing means here consciousness is always witnessing. Whether something is there to be witnessed or not, consciousness is jnana swarupaha. So it is always present. But when something is there to be witnessed, it becomes a witness. So even the status of being a witness is not a real thing for the consciousness. Understand that. But it is there as a jnana swarupa. Consciousness is always shining. It never stops. It is called alupta drika. So that means, so Swamiji, our Pujya Swamiji used to do something like this. So the consciousness does not have any eyelids, like he used to do like that and say, so it is always seeing, looking at things. So like that Pujya Swamiji used to do. So alupta drika, it never stops seeing, because seeing or knowing is its very nature. It is jnana swarupaha. So drashtur drishtehe viparilopaha na vidyate. So that is why we can get up from sleep and say, I did not know anything. Pratyabhijna we call it. So even in Dakshinamurti Ashtakam, so Dakshinamurti Stotram also this Pratyabhijna is talked about. When you wake up, you recollect that I slept very well. So that recollector also is none other than Dakshinamurti, like that in that Stotram Shankaracharya says. So the Sakshi is talked about by the Upanishad. So that is the pramana for us. And since Sakshi is Jnana Swarupa and is always available, there is no need to have a separate anuvyavasaya after vyavasaya. Understand that whenever a cognition takes place, the witness consciousness being there, I immediately know that I know. It all takes place at the same time. There is no requirement of another separate cognition. So this is a very important thing for us to understand. I hope this point is clear to all of you. So continuing, also last time only we saw, I think, So how do we now define this Jiva Sakshi and Ishvara Sakshi? So Jiva itself is Antakarana Avachinna Chaitanyam. And again, and Sakshi also is Antakarana Upahita Chaitanyam, we say. And what is the difference between this Antakarana Avachinna and Antakarana Upahita is something we have to understand. So these are all technical words. Again, in the Shastra it is used. Wherever it is used, we have to be clear in understanding that properly. So when we say there is a Visheshana, Visheshana means a qualifier or a qualification or even a guna, correct? Like a color, it's a Visheshana. Now whichever substance has this Visheshana is Vishishta, that which is qualified. Okay. So if the pot has red color, then the red color is Visheshana and the pot itself is Vishishta by that red color. This is the word we use, Visheshana and Vishishta. So when we talk about Visheshana and Vishishta, the Visheshana is very much in contact with the Vishishta. There is a Sambandha. Okay, Tadatmya Sambandham we say. We don't accept Samavaya. So there is a Sambandha between the redness and the red pot, and the redness is very much present in the pot, correct? That is the Visheshana. So a Visheshana or more than one Visheshana can be used to identify a particular object or a Vishaya uniquely. So Visheshanas are useful for that. So Neelam, Mahat, Sugandhi, Utpalam, like this we can give Visheshanas. So if you want to identify a particular flower, see there are many flowers in a garden or even in a small pond, let us say, and then we say we want to identify a particular flower there, so we keep on giving Visheshanas to identify that. What are the Visheshanas? We first say Neelam, so blue flower. Then when we say blue, we have already narrowed down, but there are more than one blue flower available. So then what we say? Sugandhi, that which is very fragrant. Again, even blue and fragrant also, more than one flower is like that, let us say. And finally we say Mahat, means the biggest amongst them, means then we narrow it down to one particular flower. So like this, Visheshanas help us to know the Swarupa of a particular object, or at least identify a particular Vishaya uniquely. Now similarly, Upadhi also can be used for the same purpose. But the main difference between Visheshana and Upadhi is, Upadhi has no contact with the Upahita Vastu. So Upadhi means we can say conditioner, for a want of better word, not like your shampoo and conditioner maybe, but something like we already talked about Upadhi, Spatika and Japakusuma. The hibiscus, red hibiscus is there by the side of a particular Spatika, means it is conditioning that Spatika to appear as a red. Although there is no Sambandha between the red flower and the Spatika, but the red flower is there sufficiently near, Upasamipe Tishtan, like that we say when we talk about Upadhi, it is there near the Vastu, near the object which it is conditioning, and it makes it appear differently. It gives some its own dharma, it gives to the other object. So in this case, redness actually belongs to the hibiscus, it does not belong to the Spatika, but still the redness of the hibiscus can be used to identify the Spatika which is near the red hibiscus flower. Another Spatika may be there away from it, it is not appearing red. So upadhi also can be used to identify a particular object, but the main difference between Visheshana and Upadhi is Visheshana has a sambandha with the Vishishta, but Upadhi has no sambandha with the Upahita. Okay, is that clear? In fact, one more term also is normally used. See, Upadhi is present at least, correct? It does not have any sambandha with the Upahita, but it is present there. That is called Upadhi. Now, one more term also is used called Upalakshana and Upalakshita. So, Upalakshana also can be used to identify a particular object. But the difference between, again, Upalakshana also does not have any sambandha with the Upalakshita. Okay, but the difference between Upadhi and Upalakshana is Upalakshana need not even be present at the time when you recognize something. So, for example, I go to a particular street and I ask which is Devadatta's house. Then somebody says, Kakavantaha Devdattasya Griham. So, wherever the Kaka was sitting, the crow was sitting, that is the house. Because when I came to the street, I saw a house where crow was sitting. Correct? The crow has already flown away. But still, that crow can be used to identify which is Devadatta's house. Correct? So now the crow becomes a Upalakshana. And Devadatta's house becomes
This person also.
Okay. So the Upalakshana need not even be present, but it can still be used to identify a particular vastu. In fact, sometimes we call it Tatastha Lakshanam also. Tatastha Lakshana is really a Upalakshana. So even for Brahman, when we reveal Brahman in Vedanta, even in Brahma Sutra, the Sutrakara says Janmadhyasya Yataha. That is the Sutra which reveals Brahman. So Brahman is revealed as Jagat Karana. So from which the Jagat is born, by which the Jagat is sustained, into which the Jagat resolves back. Janmadi, Janma Adi means Janma Iti Laya. Janmadi Asya Yataha, Asya Jagataha, Janmadi from which Yataha, like this, that is Brahman. But this Brahman being Jagat Karanam is not real. Understand that Jagat Karanatvam also is Mithya for Brahman, because Jagat itself is Mithya. Jagat has no reality other than being Brahman. So that is really a Upalakshana only, correct? So like this, we have to understand these technical terms correctly: Visheshana, Upadhi and Upalakshana. These three terms are used. So that's what here the author says, Visheshanatva Upadhitva Bhyam Anayoho Bhedaha. Like this he says, this is the difference. Now what is the difference? Visheshanancha Karyanvayi Vyavartakam. So it differentiates by being present. He says Karya Anvayi means what? It is there in the Karya. Upadhi is Karya Ananvayi Vyavartakaha. So both Visheshana and Upadhi are Vyavartakaha. Vyavartakaha means discriminators or differentiators which help us to identify something. But Visheshana is very much present in the Vishishta. Upadhi does not have any connection or sambandha with the Upahita, but it is there. Vartamanaha cha is it. So Upadhi has to be there. If it is not even there, it is called Upalakshana. That is not mentioned here, but I am just telling you, this word also is used technically. So here example is given, Yatha Rupa Vishishtaha Gataha Anityaha Ityatra Rupam Visheshanam. karnashashkulli avachinnam nabaha shrotram ityatra karnashashkulli upadihi. So here upadi they are giving another example where the shrotrendriya is defined as something, is akasha only. Nabaha is akasha. So the akasha which is enclosed by the hole in your ear is called shrotrendriya. So this upadi only is known as parichayakaha by Nayayika because they have a different definition of what is upadi, because they talk about jati and upadi. So this is known as parichayaka by them, whatever we call upadi. So prakrite cha antakaranasya jadataya vishaya bhasakatva ayogena vishaya bhasaka chaitanya upadhitvam. So then in this case, so when we define this, when we define Jiva Sakshi and Ishvara Sakshi, we say that both of them are upahita, correct? Jiva Sakshi is antakarana upahita chaitanya. Ishvara Sakshi is mayo upahita chaitanya. So the chaitanyam itself does not have any direct contact with the antakarana. Understand that. So Sakshi itself is Jnana Swarupa, it is Chaitanya. But when it is conditioned by antakarana, which itself is again Jada, antakarana does not have any Chetanatvam, because it is part of Prakriti only. So it is Pancha Bhautika, it is a Bhautika, antakarana is Bhautika. So it cannot reveal anything really. So antakarana is only an upadhi for the chaitanyam, which is the actual Vishaya Bhasaka, which is the one which reveals the different Vishayas to us. Okay. So like this is explained here. So in this, one more thing is, when we talk about Jiva, Jiva is antakarana and Chaitanya. Both we consider as Jiva. But when we talk about Jiva Sakshi, it is only Chaitanyam which is conditioned by the antakarana. Similarly, Ishvara is Maya Sahita Brahma, we can say. But Ishvara Sakshi is Maya Upahita Brahma, where the Brahma Chaitanyam alone is conditioned by Maya. It has no connection. Only the Chaitanya alone is important there when we talk about the Sakshi. Okay.
Can you repeat that, Jiva? You said Jiva is Chaitanyam plus Antakarana.
Correct. The plus and all, again you have to have it, it's not real plus, understand that, because they are of two different orders of reality.
But you're saying it is conditioned, right? Jiva is conditioned by it.
Jiva qualifies when we consider both Chaitanya and Antakarana together in Vyavahara, then we say it is Jiva or individual. The individual witness or the Jiva Sakshi is only pure Chaitanya conditioned by the Antakarana.
But when you say pure Chaitanya conditioned, what is the difference between Sakshi, Jiva Sakshi and Jiva that we said earlier?
No. Jiva only we say, when we say Jiva, the Antakarana also is included in that.
Okay, but in Jiva Sakshi?
In the Jiva Sakshi, it is Chaitanyam only, but conditioned by Antakarana. There is no connection between Antakarana and Chaitanya there.
So is it superficial? Is what you're saying? When you say conditioned, what do you mean?
When I say conditioned, I mean that we look at the Chaitanya through the Antakarana, you can say, correct? Or you can take it like this, space is there, correct?
Space?
Now you are space. Akasha is there.
Oh, space.
Ghatakasha we say. The pot space. So the pot space is nothing but space conditioned by pot. Is that correct? You understand that?
Yeah.
But space itself cannot be divided like that. Space is all pervading. It cannot be divided really. In reality, pot is in space rather than space being in pot. Correct?
Yeah.
So similarly, so when we talk about pot with the space, that is jiva. When we talk about only the pot space, that is jiva sakshi. Is that clear?
Okay, got it. Yeah. Okay, that gives more clarity now to me.
Yeah. So
thank you.
That is, these are all again usages. Technically, we mean these things when we say all these things. It is important to understand. So that is why the author is talking about Visheshana and Upadhi. So Antakarana Vishishta Chaitanya is Jiva, Antakarana Upahita Chaitanya is Jiva Sakshi. And with reference to Jiva Sakshi, again we accept many different Jiva Sakshis. So Jiva Sakshi, Pratyatmam Nana, Ekatve, Chaitra Avagate, Maitrasyapi, Anusandhana Prasangaha. So he gives a simple reason for that. If there is only one Jiva Sakshi, then through whichever Antakarana you know, Sakshi being the same, then everybody should be knowing everybody else's knowledge and like that. But that's not how the Vyavahara is. So we have to accept Nana Jiva and Nana Jiva Sakshi also. Then Ishvara Sakshi is only one because there is only one Maya. This also I think we saw last time. So Maya is only one. So Tad Upadhi Bhuta Maya Yaha Ekatvat. But here again one doubt is raised because in the Shvetashvatara Upanishad it says Indro Maya Bihi Pururupaha Iyate, like that. So the Maya Bihi Bahuvachana is used here, plural. So how do we explain this? Because in this it seems that there are many Mayas. So for that again the Samadhana is given that Maya Gata Shakti Vishesha Abhiprayataya. So you can say that Maya has many Shaktis. Its powers, it has manifold powers. So from that standpoint the Bahuvachana has been used. Or another way of explaining is that Maya is nothing but Prakriti. From a Sankhya standpoint, if you explain that, Prakriti is again Trigunatmika. So Sattva, Rajas, Tamas, like that we have different gunas are there. So if you look at Maya as Trigunatmika Maya, then also you can use the Bahuvachana here. So like that it can be explained. Again further some more quotations are given. Mayantu Prakritim Vidyat, Mayinam tu Maheshwaram. So this is also a quotation. So Maya is Prakriti, Parinami Upadana Karanam we say. Maya only becomes the world, the manifest and manifold universe is nothing but Maya. Maya only appears as this Jagat. Brahman cannot change. So when we talk about cause and effect, although we say Jagat Karanam Brahma, Brahman does not really change to become this world. What changes is only Maya. Brahman is Vivarta Upadanam. It is like gold becoming a chain. Being gold only it becomes a chain. So Brahman becomes this world you can say and appears as this manifold universe with Maya. But Brahman still remains Brahman alone. Brahman cannot change in any way. It is Avyakta and it is Avinashi also. So this Brahman is, when we look at this Brahman as Mayi, as the one with Maya, we say that Brahman itself is known as Maheshwara, Ishvara. So Ishvara is Maya Sahita Brahma, like that we can say. But again all this Sahita and all we have to take with a pinch of salt, because Maya and Brahman again are not of the same order of reality. So it is not real plus. So it is like if you look at the stone sculpture of a elephant as real elephant, that is Maya, correct? So when we say stone plus your whatever, the way of looking at it, the stone plus elephant is the elephant, means there is no real plus elephant there, correct? It's only Nama Rupa. In reality there is
Right.
only stone. You look at it as though it is real, and then you have fear and all that, let us say. So but it is not there. So in language we can say stone plus the name and form is elephant, stone without name and form is stone alone. But what is there is only stone at the end of the day, that we have to understand. So even though we say Vishishta, Kahita and all that, those things are all only Eva. That has to be very clear to all of you. Otherwise there won't be any Advaita. There will be Advaita Hani. Again one more quotation is given here. Sarati avidyam vitatam siddhi yasmin niveshite yogi mayam ameyaya tasmai vidyatmane namaha. So like this, there is one more quotation is given. Okay. So these are all from the Upanishad only with reference to Maya. So Maya, we want the Maya to be one, and because of that we say Ishvara Sakshi also is one. So that is what is given here. So this one should know this clearly. So Maya is Prakriti, Mayi. The one who has the Maya is the great Maheshwaraha. So Ishwaraha means one who overlords everybody. So the great Lord, you can say Maheshwaraha. And again this next verse also, it is saying Tasmai Vidyatmane Namaha. So one who is in the form of Vidya, again Jnana, Jnanatmane. So one who is in the form of Jnana, my salutations. And what kind of Vastu is that? Again, Yogi, those who are yogis, who have gone or transcended this Maya. So again the word transcend and all we have to understand very clearly. So there should not be any confusion here. So like you have understood the stone elephant as only stone, means you have transcended the elephant, correct? Similarly, the one who has understood this whole creation as only Brahman, means for them they have understood Brahman as it is without any Maya or Namarupa being there. So those who have gone beyond avidya, tarati, those who have crossed avidya, and in their hridaya, which is present. Okay, so what is that? That it is there as aham only, correct? Aham Spuranam is there. So that self, and that self is nothing but this Brahman alone. So to that Brahman, my namaskara, like that. Another verse is quoted here. Okay, and then one more quotation also is there here. Ajam ekam lohita shukla krishnam bhakvihi prajaha srijamanam sarupaha ajaha hi ekaha Vishamanaha Anushete Jahati Yenam Bhukta Bhogam Ajonyaha. Like this, there are these shrutis are there. So ityadi shrutihi smritishu ekavachana balena Laghava Anugrihitena Mayayaha Ekatvam Nistiyate. So Shruti was quoted, Shvetashvatara Upanishad, Mayantu Prakritim, and the other one and all Upanishad. The last one is Shruti. So here again Ajam means one who
last one
never born.
last one
That I explain பண்றேன். Ajam
என்ன கோட்டட்னு சொன்னார்.
அது என்ன ஸ்மிருதின்னு நான் பார்த்து சொல்றேன். நான் நினைக்கிறேன் அது அதுவும் ஸ்வேதாஸ்வத்திரம் தான் நினைக்கிறேன். இல்ல ஓகே, இது வந்து ஃபர்ஸ்ட் அண்ட் தேர்ட் வந்து ஸ்வேதாஸ்வத்திரம், தஸ்ய தரதி அவித்யாம் வந்து விஷ்ணு புராணம், விததாம் விதி இது வந்து விஷ்ணு புராணம். ஃபர்ஸ்டும் தேர்டும் வந்து ஸ்வேதாஸ்வத்திர உபனிஷத். ஓகே, so ajam ekam, so which is one and which is unborn again. So ajaya mano bahuda vijayate, like this even Purusha Sukta also is there. So that which is never born, and again it follows, but again two things are talked about here. So lohita shukla krishna bhaktihi prajaha srijamanam karupaha analysis. So it goes after ajaha ekaha jushamanaha anushete jahati, like that. So ajaha is female, ajaha is male principle. So two things are there, but they come together. Okay, and again they are red, white and black. Three colors are also talked about here, lohita shukla krishna, and then they become many, like that. So this one maya becomes two, and then it becomes many, like this. It is explained here how the Srishti has come about. So here also the word ekam, ekaha and all is used. So in this, using this, we can say that Maya is only one. So the idea here is to establish that there is only one Maya, there are not many Mayas. So these quotations are given here. So we can now say Ishvara Sakshi is only one, there are not many Ishvara Sakshis. So that is established, but Jiva Sakshi is many. Now continuing, tatascha tad upahitam chaitanyam Ishvara Sakshi tatcha anadi tad upadehe mayayaha anaditvat. So here Maya has been established as one, and the Chaitanya which is conditioned by this Maya is what is called as Ishvara Sakshi. So Maya upahitam Chaitanyam Ishvara Sakshi, Maya Vishishta Chaitanyam is Ishvara. Okay, like we said for Jiva, here also you can say Maya Vishishta Chaitanya is Ishvara, and Maya Upahita Chaitanya is Ishvara Sakshi. And Ishvara Sakshi is Anadi, because Maya also is Anadi. Maya has no beginning or end. So, but it is of a different order of reality. That is very important for us. So Maya or Avidya, these things are all Anadi, we say. So if I ask you, do you know Chinese? What do you say? I think most of you are, all of you don't know Chinese. Now when did this Chinese ignorance start? Means you can't say that, correct? It is always there. There is no beginning for that, but it can come to an end. So ignorance has no beginning. It is anadi, but it is having a santam. It has an anta. End is there. Similarly, Maya also there is an end. Once you know yourself as only Brahman, the Srishti, everything is Brahman, means there is no Maya there. But if you look everything as different things, then Maya is very much there. And when did all these things start means there is no start. It is all beginningless cycle for us. So Maya is anadi, and therefore Ishvara Sakshi also is anadi. Maya avachinnam chaitanyam parameshwaraha. So that is what. So Maya upahita chaitanya is Ishvara Sakshi. Maya avachinna chaitanya is Ishvaraha, parameshwaraha. So that means when we say Maya avachinnam, here we mean that both Maya and the Chaitanya Brahman is considered. Both of them are considered together. Then it is called, then that is what we say is Ishvara. So Mayayaha Visheshanatve Ishvaratvam Upadhitve Sakshitvam. So this is what I told you. So when we consider the Maya as a Visheshana and include both Maya along with Brahman, we look at it, means then that is what we say Ishvara or Ishvaratvam we get. But if we say Maya is an Upadhi and only consider the Chaitanya, then that is the Sakshi. Iti Ishvaratva Sakshitvayoho Bhedaha. So when we say Ishvaratvam, it includes Maya also. When we say Ishvara Sakshitvam, it does not include any Maya. Maya is only an Upadhi there. So that difference also we have to understand. It is being pointed out here. Natu Dharminoho Ishvara Sakshinoho Bhedaha. So here again the dharmi is one and the same. So there is no difference in the dharmi is here Brahman only. Understand that. But when you consider both Brahman and Maya, we call it Ishvara. When we do not consider the Maya and only look at Brahma Chaitanya, we call it Ishvara Sakshi. But the dharmi, dharma is Maya if we consider here. Dharmi is only Brahma Chaitanyam in both the cases. So there is no Bheda in the dharmi. Whether it is Ishvara or Sakshi, both of them are one and the same when you look at it as a dharmi. This also is pointed out here. So such a Parameshwaraha Ekaha api Swa Upadhi Bhuta Maya Nishta Tattva Rajas Tamo Guna Bhedena Brahma Vishnu Maheshwaradi Sabda Vachyatam Bhajate. So another thing also is explained here. So Parameshwara is only one, but then how do we have all this Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara like that? We have different Devatas are there, Ishta Devatas are there. So that is explained here. Parameshwara is only one, but from the standpoint of the Upadhi, and again the Upadhi has three gunas. So from the Sattva Guna Pradhana Ishvaraha is Brahma, Rajo Guna Pradhana Ishvara is Vishnu, Tamo Guna Pradhana Ishvara is Ishvara, Maheshwara here. So like that, from the standpoint of Sattva's creation happens. Rajas means sustenance is there, and Tamas means we say it becomes dissolution or resolution. Laya is there. So all these shabdas are used because of the Upadhi Veda only. There is no Veda in Ishvara. There are no different Ishvaras are not there. Only one Ishvara is looked at from different standpoints. That is what is pointed out here. So that also the author says. So there is no difference between Ishvara, Shiva, Vishnu, Veda and all is not there. Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, the bhaktas, they look at them differently and even fight. But for a Vedantin, they are only one reality looked at from different standpoints. That has to be clearly understood. So Nanu Ishvara Sakshinaha Anadhitve Tad Aikshata Bahushyam Prajayeya Ityadina Srishti Purva Samaye Parameshwarasya Agantukam Ikshanam Uchyamanam Katham Upavatyate. So now an interesting question is raised. So we say that Ishvara and Sakshi are Anadi. They are always there. Then, but there is also in Taittiriya Upanishad it says, so this I think Tada Ikshata Bahushyam, even there it says Bahushyam Praja Yeti Tatapo Tapyata Tatapas Tapsva Idagum Sarvam Asrjata. Like that, this Aikshata is there. First you see Tada Ikshata Bahushyam Prajayeya. Like this is the Shruti Vakya here. So this Srishti, this Vakya is talking about Srishti. When Srishti not being there, Ishvara visualized the whole Srishti, we can say, correct? Jnanamayam Tapaha, like that it comes in Mundaka Upanishad also. So first Ishvara recollects everything and visualizes, and then Srishti is there. Okay. But the Srishti Purva Samaye, the Purva Pakshi is saying, so this particular Shruti Vakya is talking about when there was no Srishti. So at that time, Ishvara saw all these things, visualized. So Parameshwarasya Aguntukam Ikshanam. So whatever is going to come, whatever is going to be manifest as the Srishti, so that is going to come, correct? So Parameshwara is looking at that, let us say, visualized, and that whole Srishti. So this Tada Ikshata is actually from Chandogya. Similar Shruti is there in other Upanishads also. So Tada Ikshata Bahushyam Prajayeya is Chandogya Shruti. And so how is this tenable? Because if Ishvara is Anadi and Ishvara Sakshi is always there, why should it newly look at something? Like this, a question is raised. Okay. So this particular sentence, how do you explain? That is the doubt raised here. So for that he says Uchyate. So what is the explanation we give? Yatha Vishayendriya Sannikarshadi Karana Vashena Jivopadhi Antarkaranasya Vritti Bheda Jayante Tatha Sridyamana Prani Karma Vashena Parameshwara Upadhi Bhuta Mayayaha Vritti Visheshaha Idam Idanim Prashtavyam Idam Idanim. There is one more, continuation is there. Palayitavyam, idam idanim samhartavyam, ityadi akaraha jayante, tasancha vrittinam saditvat tat pratibimba chaitanyam api sadi iti uchyate. So the reason, the explanation given is like this. Ishvara does not, by himself or herself, Ishvara does not need to see anything. Okay. So just like the Jiva, first he is giving a Yatha, an analogy here. So Jiva Sakshi also is always there, but that doesn't mean you see everything all the time, correct? So the knowledge takes place only when Vishaya and Indriya come into contact. Vishayendriya Sannikarshadi Karana Vasena. So Vishayendra, Vishaya, Indriya, Sannikarsa is very important. Vishaya and Indriya has to come into contact, and then your mind also has to be alert at that time. So like this, different causes are there. Karana, Vashena only. Eva Upadhi Antakaranasya Vritti Vedaha Jayante. So the Antakarana Vritti itself, for it to take place properly, the Vishayendriya, Sannikarsa, etc. is required. Then only this vritti is born, and that because of that only the sakshi, the knowledge also takes place. You see something. Similarly, this sridyamana prani karma vasena. So the karma is there for all the jiva. See, that is why karma is called amrita in Mundaka Upanishad, because avasyam bhavitvat, like that Bhatyakara says. The karma has to be experienced. As long as you are having this ajnana that aham karta, if you are thinking that I am doer, enjoyer, as long as you think like that, karma has to be experienced, and karma is there. It doesn't go away even in a pralaya. Even after the dissolution, it is there in a potential form. Then again, Ishvara, why Ishvara even has to do Srishti? Like this, a question can be raised. Ishvara need not do any Srishti for his own sake. So Ishvara also is creating only for prani, this prani karma vasena, siddhyamana prani karma vasena, like that we say. So only for the karma has to be experienced by all the jiva. For that purpose only the Srishti itself is done. So this Parameshwara Upadhi Bhuta Mayayaha Vritti Visheshaha. So whenever the time comes for all this karma to be rectified, after a laya period also, this karma and all is now they want to rectify again. Because of that there is a vritti, there is a change in the maya. See, laya means we can say it is an equilibrium. There is no change. As long as the equilibrium is there, nothing is there, no creation, nothing. But once the equilibrium is gone, means a change has happened in the maya, which is trigunatmika anyway. So sattva, rajas, tamas are in equilibrium, means no creation. But when sattva becomes pradhana, then creation starts. Okay. So when the equilibrium is broken, there is a change in the maya. That is maya vritti. There is a vritti vishesha in the maya upadhi. So Parameshwara Upadhi Bhuta Mayayaha Vritti Visheshaha. So due to this prani karma, this maya changes. The change in the maya is there. And what kind of vritti vishesha it is? Idam idanim prashtavyam. So I have to create this now. Similarly, idam idanim palayitavyam. So I have to sustain this, protect this. Idam idanim samhartavyam. So now again the time has come to do samhara and laya. So like this, even in maya there is a vritti. Ityadi akaraha vritti visheshaha jayante. So in the maya, again the change is there only in maya, understand? Like for jiva, the vritti is there only in antakarana. Chaitanya is only revealing that change. Similarly here, maya has a vritti vishesha, because maya has to lose its equilibrium, then only Srishti is possible, then only jiva can experience all their karma. Okay, according to their karma, they can undergo their experiences. So that is why the Srishti itself happens, the Srishti itself is sustained, and again one cycle when the time comes for it to be over, samhara has to be done.
So how is the equilibrium lost?
Equilibrium is lost because again the karma are all
how is it lost?
Because of the karma only, we say. How means during the laya again all this karma is there in potential form, but again they are whenever the appropriate time comes, the karma has to fructify, the time has come means then again Maya.
But how does a jiva regain equilibrium while living?
Correct. There is a, even every night when we sleep also there is a mini pralaya, laya is there, correct? So similarly only. So we get up from that. So how do we get up from sleep? When the time comes, we get up. Okay. Like that. Here also,
when the prarabdha karma, when prarabdha karma and all the karmas are exhausted, then the jiva will wake up with jnanam?
No, that is what. It is not like that. See, karma itself is anadi and ananta. The sanchita karma, the accumulated karma, you cannot count, correct?
Right.
Prarabdha can come to an end. Then only one janma will come to an end, correct?
Right.
Then you have to take another set of prarabdha karma will come and you have to take another janma. So that is all talked about very clearly in Bhagavad Gita. So like you throw away one shirt and wear another shirt after it is worn out. So vasamsi jirnani yatha vihaya navani grinnati naroparani. Like that Bhagavan says. Like that when the time comes, we have to leave this Stula Sharira, but the Sukshma Sharira continues and takes another Stula Sharira, like that it goes. Okay.
So how do we get off that, how do we get that permanent equilibrium?
That is to understand that always you are already in equilibrium only. Okay. There is no Srishti anywhere.
I see. Okay. So those are two different things. Then.
That is what, see, that is the, like a jump in your cognitive appreciation, correct? See,
in your
as
focus.
long as you think there is a elephant, you are talking about so many things, how to handle that elephant and all that.
Yeah.
But really, then how do we get rid of that elephant means just there was no elephant to start with, only stone is there, correct? You have to appreciate that fact, that's all. There is nothing more.
Oh, okay.
Correct? Knowledge alone is required.
So there's nothing to do but to recognize.
Yes, yeah, you have to understand. That's it. So jnanam alone will take you, because the problem is one of ignorance. Knowledge alone is the solution.
Yeah, but I was trying to understand the equilibrium state. When you
within the Srishti we say there is it is a cycle for us. Our idea of time itself is cyclical. It is not a linear thing like Westerners. So they even have something called eternal heaven and all that, which is illogical, correct? Something which is eternal cannot begin in time. It has to be there already. It will be there forever. That alone is eternal. So there is no question of eternal hell, eternal heaven and all is illogical. It is wrong, plain wrong, correct? But for us, time is, we have all this, whatever, Chatur Yuga, and of course I can go into explaining all that, but that's not the subject matter here. But the idea is, there is a Srishti Sthiti Laya, like that cycle keeps on going.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to...
Laya, so here the question has been asked, one Laya is there, and again the next Srishti has to start, correct? At that time the Shruti is saying Tad Aikshata. So Ishvara visualized. Now how can you explain this is the question. So for that we are saying, yes, that Aikshata is there because the Maya vritti, there is a vritti in the Maya.
Aikshata means? What does Aikshata mean?
Aikshata means he saw, he visualized. Okay? Each dhatu only, to see. So Ishvara saw and then the Srishti was there, okay?
Okay.
So then how can he have a vritti like beginning? Because seeing means it has to start sometime. That is the question here. So we say the beginning is only for the Maya vritti. It is not that Sakshi itself is starting, then only. Sakshi is always there. Chaitanya is always there. But
so it is really a matter of staying in the Sakshi state rather than in the what is the other one?
So
Maya state.
staying
Maya.
and all that. See, again, the words you use will confuse you. Don't say staying. You are already in Sakshi. You are a Sakshi already. There is nothing to stay or leave and all. This is a question of understanding. And
But I'm trying to understand.
So when you say
I'm trying to understand how do you get equilibrium?
Correct.
Equilibrium is what I'm aiming
at. Of your mind is different. Here we are saying Laya is an equilibrium. Laya is an equilibrium state. Where Sattva, Rajas, Tamas are all in equilibrium means it becomes Pralayam. Layam. There is no Shakti anymore. Okay. So when these Trigunas are not in equilibrium, only Srishti starts. That is what I was telling. So I don't know how.
So when we are sleeping, we are in the Laya state because all the gunas
are in a certain equilibrium. We say. Then once you wake up, there is no Laya. Correct? There is no equilibrium. The things are always changing.
Okay.
Cognition, some change is there because your Antakarana Vritti is there. See, when there is no Antakarana Vritti, it is Laya for us individually. When there is no Vritti in the Maya, it is Laya for the totality. Correct? You can understand it like that.
Yeah.
So we say when the Srishti starts, there is a change in the Maya. Correct? Like even for us, there is a change. The Antakarana, whenever there is Antakarana Vritti, only we are either in dream or in waking state. Otherwise we go into deep sleep.
Right.
Similarly, Maya Vritti is there, and for the Maya Vritti, there is an Adi. See, Tasanta Vritti nam Saditvat, we say. So the Maya only has this Vritti of this Idam Idanim Srashtavyam, Idam Idanim Palayitavyam, Idam Idanim Samartavyam means what? So I have to create now. I have
what
to
is
create,
what is meant by Idanim?
Idam means this. Idanim means now. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Now
so I have to protect this now.
Now I have to protect this. Now I have to resolve this. Okay. So like this, all these vrittis are there in Maya, and those vrittis have beginning. And so with reference to those only, when we look at the Chaitanyam also, the witness also, we say it is Sadi iti uchyate. That's all. Only from this standpoint, we say that this Ishvara is seeing this, and Ishvara's sight or Ishvara's seeing has a beginning. But otherwise, the Chaitanya is always there. The witness consciousness never goes away. That's what I quoted in the beginning also. Correct? Drastuhu dristehe viparilopaha na vidyate. Avinashitva. Like this. So that is the thing. So we'll close here this week. We'll continue next week. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya
Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.